Everywhere I go in this Lamborghini, people always ask me the same question, and I'm pretty sure that every other supercar owner, Lambo owner also gets the same question as well. What do I do for a living? And honestly, I honestly get why people ask this question, because growing up, I used to wonder the same thing when I saw exotic cars. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what I do for work, how I got here, and the 5 income streams that completely changed my life, and what exactly you yourself could also take away from it and be in a Lamborghini as well one day. And no, it definitely was not something that took overnight. So number 1, when I was 18 years old, I became a DJ. That was whenever I first really made my money. Now keep in mind, not everyone out there is going to be DJs. It's not something that you can just get up and do. It takes a lot of practice, but definitely take away what the core message is going to be for this first one, and probably for all these. But it was the first thing that I did, and honestly, this was really the beginning of everything for me. I've DJed hundreds of weddings over the years, especially Indian weddings, and those events are intense. They take long days, late nights, they take travel, a ton of pressure, big crowds, being the center of the spotlight. But DJing always taught me how to hustle. It taught me how to perform under pressure, which was a big thing that I really took away. But it taught me how to build confidence and honestly how to deal with people. And one of the biggest things it taught me was this: your reputation matters a ton. If you're good at what you do, people talk about it, word spreads, and opportunities just start spreading like wildfire. A lot of the foundation for my work ethic honestly came straight from DJing, and I'm glad that I did it at an early age because it honestly propelled everything going forward. So the way that I got into DJing was I didn't go in it for the money. I wanted to do something that I really enjoyed doing. It was something that was on my mind pretty much every single hour of the day, and just getting into the position of just trying to practice and learn and become one of the best DJs in the whole world. That mindset part of the whole thing was what basically started off things and gave me a jump start in life that many other people didn't really have. It was something I enjoyed doing, something I could do pretty much the whole day, something I was also doing till 4 in the morning, just practicing. But the core thing behind it was the fact that I wanted to be the best at something that I really enjoyed doing. So that's what you could take away from this first one. It was something that required repetition. It was something that required probably 10, 12 hours of the day. But honestly, it was something that was like a video game. Something that you could just keep on doing over and over and over again. And then time you'll just see kind of flash by. I didn't get into DJing knowing that I could make thousands and thousands of bucks. But again, as the years kind of passed, I always knew that I couldn't be a DJ forever. So then during this transition, I also got my college degree. But mind you, I'm somebody who took 10 years to get a 4-year degree in business that I've never ever used in my entire life. You may also be somebody like that. And just kind of note that there might be a reason for that. But the thing that college kind of taught me was the fact that to just kind of live with the dread of just failing. And then it basically taught me not to be ashamed of it and just kind of keep on going. But the second thing I did was become a BMW genius. And the big takeaway from me getting this job was I didn't wait for permission. I knew which exact store I wanted to go to. I applied online. I didn't even wait for them to get back to me. I just put on a suit one day, and then I walked into the store, and then I went straight into the office, and I'm like, I want this job. So that's the other thing that you need to take away from this example as well. It's not the fact that you have to wait for permission. You basically have to do the same thing too. Just put on the suit and then just go knock on the door. If you basically live your life where you're just gonna have to wait for things to come to you, you're never gonna get a Lamborghini. You always have to kind of propel yourself. You have to take that step, and then you just have to go knock on that door. And honestly, if I hadn't have made that move, the rest of the things definitely wouldn't have came to fruition either. But that's what I did. Got a job at BMW. A lot of people are surprised when I tell them that because they expect some crazy answer when they see the Lamborghini. But yes, I actually still work a normal job. And there's a big reason behind this too. Now that I'm in a pretty good financial position, I do still work there, but I just work there 2 or 3 times a week. But the main reason behind it is because not only does it keep me up to date with my main channel, which is another YouTube channel that I did before this that blew up, but also the fact that I'm on my feet, I'm moving around, and I'm also talking to different people, making connections still. So there is value in that, and then so that is the reason why I still work a normal part-time job. Not only that, it does keep you grounded in the terms of not getting too inflated with your own head. which is also going to be something that you have to stay rooted with. But my role there is to basically just help customers learn about BMWs, learn about the technology, fix issues that might be having. And honestly, yeah, this job taught me a lot. It taught me communication, patience, how to explain things simply, which also translates to me making this video right now, how to understand people, which again is another core skill that still is going on. And weirdly enough, this job became the foundation of my next income stream because the knowledge that I gained from here eventually turned into content online. And so that was whenever I started my first YouTube page. At the making of this video, it's about to hit 145,000 subscribers, got the YouTube award. But that was my first real online thing that I did, and my first, and probably you could say my second breakthrough that I've kind of had in life. But whenever I started this channel, a big thing that was going on was the COVID lockdown. So the thing that COVID lockdown basically taught me was how to kind of live on beans and rice. Now here's a big core thing that you also need to take away from this whole thing. When DJing was on a pause during the lockdown, I basically learned how to live on basically zero income. So I kind of had to do whatever I had to do to just live off whatever I had saved. And then so that meant basically cooking my own meals, paying off credit card debt at the time, downgrading my car to a Honda Civic, trying to find the lowest place that I could find to just put a roof on my head. So it basically taught me how to play defense, I guess you could say. But during that phase, whenever life was at a bit of a dip, YouTube was what I worked on the side. And again, same core thing here. I enjoyed doing it. I wanted to one day become the best YouTuber in the entire world. And this was something that I was just doing it for free. Just like DJing, I did it for free for a year to 2 years before I started getting paid. I didn't even care about money. I wanted to do it just because I enjoyed doing it, and then I could just do it in my sleep. But YouTube was the thing that changed things for the better. I started making BMW videos during COVID whenever everything was shut down. And then at the time I wasn't trying to be famous. I just started making helpful videos, BMW tips, hidden features, tutorials, problem solving stuff. And over time the channel slowly grew. Now the view count is in the millions, and not that short form stuff. This is all long form stuff. And then YouTube eventually transitioned into a real business. I'm making money from ad revenue, but from everything else that was connected to it, which I'm going to be getting to in the next part of the video. And I think that's something a lot of people underestimate. It's the fact that content can become leverage. So the way you kind of have to look at it about YouTube and content in general is the type of content that you're putting out today. It can be something that still can be watched 5 years down the road. Even 10 years from now, people are still going to be asking me what I do for a living. So this video that you're watching right now is still going to continue to get views for the next 10 years in a row. So everything that I tie into this video, things like courses, if I plan on doing that, which I do have one, and that plug is going to be coming soon, but all that stuff will be shown to people for the next 10 years. So the way you can see a YouTube video that is still relevant 10 years down the road is a form of digital real estate. So content becomes leverage. One video can continue to help people over and over for years to come, and that completely changes how you view business. So online business, so taking YouTube and multiplying it into 5 different income streams to an online business. Now my former YouTube channel still makes me money in 5 different ways. I teach people how to use BMWs as private lessons. I can promote key fob accessories. I can promote cleaning products. I have an online store that's tied to it selling car accessories. But that is whenever things really start to scale, because now not only are my YouTube videos getting more and more views, but they're continually getting views for 10 years down the road. And then that also means that my products that I also have tied to that video are still getting sales for 10 years down the road. So this is what they mean about compound growth, learning how to scale. It's all related to this type of stuff. But because eventually you realize there's only so many hours that you can personally work, online business, online systems can continue to run whether you're awake or you're asleep. That mindset shift can change everything. That mindset shift changed everything for me. Instead of constantly asking, how do I work more? I started asking, what type of things or machines can I build online, or maybe even on the side, that could continue working whenever I'm not there? So other examples of this are going to be things like laundromats. So once you set up 10 different laundry centers inside of a building, you don't have to be there. You just have to kind of check on it once in a while to make sure that things are running smoothly. But the machines there, they basically make money for you. So that is just one example of making money in your sleep that you could do. There's so many different ways out there, but the key thing is that you kind of have to do what you like to do. That could be honestly whatever you want, but the reason why a lot of people say that it should be something about doing something that you like doing is because it requires repetition, it requires years of planning. Again, not something that happens overnight. You have to keep on doing it over and over again. You have to see yourself doing it for the next 30 years of your life if it has to be. But the longer you keep on doing it, the better you get, and then the more people that come to you. So once I'm making money through YouTube, once I'm making money through the 5 different ways that's tied to YouTube, I'm obviously making some pretty good cash right now. But this is the part where people kind of screw up a lot. Once they start finally hitting their breakthroughs and start making 100 grand a year, 150 grand a year, whatever it may be, any amount of substantial cash that you never had before. The mistake that a lot of people do is that they go out there and then they go ahead and upgrade their cars, upgrade their living, upgrade their clothing, and basically just start spending a lot more cash. So that's the mistake that I didn't do, and that is a mistake that you should watch out for whenever you finally hit your breakthrough as well. Instead of me just kind of going out there and trying to upgrade my Honda Civic, I still held on to it for another 4 to 5 years. And then whatever money that I was making on top of, and then whatever breakthrough money that I was making, that would go straight into investing. Now, if you don't know how investing works, this is a big reason why I made this program that I'm going to put the QR code here for. It basically not only teaches you how to invest, but it teaches you exactly what I did along the way. So if you want to dive deeper into how to invest and do whatever, again, I'm not a financial advisor, but you can feel free to scan this QR code. But investing was the 5th thing that I did, and this is the one that I think that everyone should definitely learn how to do. If you don't know how to invest, I honestly kind of want to say that you're not going to have a Lamborghini, or you're going to have a hard time trying to keep up with the lifestyle that a Lamborghini is going to get you to. You have to learn how to multiply your money, and that is through investing. Honestly, this is probably the biggest long-term game changer out there that everyone can do. When I started making money, I didn't immediately spend it. I invested a lot of it into things like stocks, mainly ETFs, real estate here and there. I bought a condo, eventually got to a point where I could pay it off. But ETFs is what I do. And over time, those investments started to grow on their own. When you realize that money can actually begin to work for you. You're going to hear a lot along the way about how people say, make money work for you. And all that really is you learning how to invest your money, how to multiply it, and let time do the work for you. I think a lot of people focus only on income, and that's the mistake that a lot of people are doing. And then once they do finally make their income, they go out there and then they go spend it. They go from Honda Civic to a Honda Accord to an Acura to a BMW to a Porsche, so on and so forth. And yeah, you could do that, but I honestly think that that's the wrong path, or at least it was for me. What I did was I made all this money, I put it into investments, and then what I was able to do was go from a Honda Civic to an M4 to a Lamborghini, and then now I'm basically setting myself up to get probably 10 Lamborghinis by the time I'm 45 years old. So if you want to make real massive wealth, start off slow and end with a high. But the Lamborghini honestly wasn't bought from just one income stream. It came from stacking skills, businesses, and investments all over the years. But at the end of the day, there wasn't one magic moment that suddenly changed my life. It was all through years of building skills. And a lot of the stuff that I learned was all through what you're watching right now. There's probably hundreds and hundreds of different content creators that talk about this stuff. I'm probably one of the only ones that talk about it through a Lamborghini. But the more you kind of get invested into learning how to invest, how to make more money, and how to manage that money, then you're going to be on the right track. And there's videos on this all out there. There wasn't a magic moment that suddenly changed everything. It was years of building skills, taking risk, working consistently, reinvesting that money that I make, and then stacking multiple streams of income together. And honestly, I still feel like I'm still getting started. So if you guys want more real videos about how to learn how to invest, how to adjust your mindset, and what it's like owning a Lamborghini, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.